Hello, everyone. I'm a socially awkward idiot, and if you're wondering why my background and location is completely different, it's because my wife saw my other videos and said I needed to film somewhere with more lighting and that was more visually appealing. So instead of filming in the office, I'm filming on the living room couch because it's the most colorful piece of furniture. You can kind of see my snake's tank, so that's kind of interesting. And that's about as visually appealing as I get. Welcome to the maybe new location. It might change again. I don't know. But for now, we're here. And today, I'm going to talk to you about a grudge I have against my elementary school music teacher. And you might be saying, that's very strange to hold a grudge against an elementary school music teacher when you're in your 20s. That's a very childish thing to do. You don't know. You don't know what this woman was like. I still think about this and become angry for what my life could have been. My elementary school music teacher played favorites very, very obviously. We, even as little 8, 9, 10-year-olds, we all knew she played favorites, right? Like, this is something that we would talk about at recess, is how she played favorites. Her favorites were kids whose parents bought their kids treats and to give to her. Like, kids would come in and bring her bouquets of flowers. Kids would come in and bring her beautiful golden plaques for their desk. And my parents were like, no, that's bribery. We're not going to buy you gifts for your elementary school music teacher. That's stupid. Correctly, if my child told me they wanted to buy a gift for their elementary school music teacher because other kids were buying them gifts, I'd be like, no, that's dumb. Just because other kids are buying her gifts doesn't mean you have to. So I did not get her any gifts, and therefore I was not one of her favorites. And this wouldn't be that bad, except I absolutely loved singing. It was one of my favorite things to do in the world. I sang in my middle school and high school choirs and competed in choral competitions and everything. I love singing so much. So even as a little small elementary school child, I loved singing. And all I wanted was a solo in our 3rd grade play. That's all I wanted in my whole entire life. That was the one thing that I wanted. So it was time to audition for the solo. And one of the music teacher's little favorites goes first, and she's completely off key and awful because she's 8. So I get ready to audition. She plays the tape recorder, not the tape recorder, I'm old. She plays the pre-recorded music on the big speaker boombox thing, which I just realized they probably don't use anymore. Oh God. Oh God, okay. So she plays the backing track, whatever you call it, presses play. And just before the vocal part comes in, I take a breath, and another teacher opens the door and steps into a room. So I don't even sing one note, I completely stop because I'm courteous. I want to, make sure this other teacher can talk. I'm not going to sing over him. I am a kind, courteous child. So I wait, and this teacher that just walked in and the music teacher just start talking to each other across the classroom. I don't remember what they were talking about. It wasn't anything important. At least when I was 8, I didn't think it was anything important. It might have been something really important and I just don't remember because I was 8 and didn't care. But they were talking about something across the room. And I'm sitting there waiting. And I'm waiting for my chance. I'm waiting for them to finish because I know that once they're done, I'm going to blow everyone's socks off with my amazing performance. So I'm waiting. And finally, the other teacher leaves. My music teacher stops the backing track and says, "Okay, Mackenzie, sit down. It's time for the next kid." I'm sorry. Did you hear me sing even one note? Did I sing even one single note that whole time? No, the whole time the backing track was playing, you were talking to another teacher, and I was being polite and not trying to sing while you're talking to another teacher. I was being a very well-behaved child. But no, she says, let's move on to the next person. I try to protest and tell her that I hadn't even gotten a chance to sing, but she just says, "You've had your chance, Mackenzie. It's the other girl's turn." I did not have my chance. I didn't sing one single note. I'm still angry about this to this day because, as I mentioned before, I was in choir in middle school and in high school. And in middle school, when a chance for a solo opportunity came up and the teacher asked who would want to audition, I wanted to audition, but then I remembered my freaking elementary school music teacher not letting me get one note in, and I was so terrified of that happening again, I didn't even sign up for auditions for any solo for all of middle school. So I was just backup vocals for all of middle school because of this. And then I get to high school, and because I have basically no real audition experience, my high school was like a really big music school. We had 3 different choirs. No, we technically had 4 different choirs. We had a beginning level all boys choir, a beginning level all girls choir, a intermediate level all girls choir, and then an advanced girls and boys combined choir. And I think they added a 5th one since I graduated, because that's how many people in my high school do choir. Choir is was a big deal in that high school, right? So before the semester even starts, they hold auditions for placement for where you were going to be placed, which level of choir, because as I mentioned, there's 3 levels of just girl choir alone. So I don't even audition for any of the upper level choirs because I'm still so terrified of auditioning that I'm just going to be steamrolled past by some nonsense. So I don't even audition. I just go right in to the beginning level choir, but because I had done choir in middle school, like all the beginning level choir was just basically learning how to read music, which is fine if you don't know how to read music, but I did know how to read music because I was in choir and orchestra and learned piano for a time, and I very much knew how to read music. So I just spent that whole class helping other people learn how to read music. And the teacher was like, "Why didn't you audition for at least like the intermediate level choir? Like you clearly already know like the basic stuff." And I just was kind of like, "Oh, I don't know." Because I didn't want to explain that at the age of 14, I was still holding on to something that happened when I was 8 years old because I didn't want this man to think that I was strange. So I was just like, haha, oh, like, whatever, I'll audition next time. And I did, and I got into the upper level choirs once I actually auditioned. And I could have done that straight away if it wasn't for my elementary school music teacher. Oh, and I auditioned for like an extracurricular choir where they sang pop songs and stuff that was all student run. And I was so nervous about auditioning that I didn't even sing, had a panic attack, and just laid down on the floor in front of a bunch of my peers because it was student run, so it's just girls around my age there. And I just collapsed on the floor and just laid on the floor crying because I was thinking about this time when I was 8 and my music teacher wouldn't let me sing. So basically, my elementary school music teacher ruined my whole life. Who knows, maybe instead of having some crappy minimum wage job, I could be a famous singer now if I had had the confidence to keep auditioning for things, but no. So screw you, elementary school music teacher. I will never forget you as long as I live. Clearly, I'm still angry about this. So I hope that you all enjoyed me getting extremely angry about something that happened when I was a child. I hope that it made you smile. If you have an extremely angry reaction upon thinking of a past memory, why don't you leave it in the comments? Share stories of crappy teachers you've had so I feel better about myself. Here it goes 2 ways. I make you feel better by sharing my crappy teacher experience. You can share your own crappy teacher experience. It goes hand in hand, and this is a community. I'm so fired up right now, I just keep talking. That's how angry thinking about my elementary school music teacher makes me. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you subscribed it, and share if you shared it. Bye!